Welcome, everybody, to the Quick Save Club podcast. Before we jump into the show, I want to do a little thought exercise with you guys. A little meditation, if you will. First, imagine a keyboard. Yes, beautiful, clicky, clacky keyboard. Next, imagine a mouse. No, not that type of mouse. A PC mouse. Then embrace the wonderful controls. The best way to play any video game. The great PC. And this will prepare you for the podcast that's ahead of you. Yes. Now let's jump into the Quick Save Club podcast. Welcome to the Quick Save Club podcast, everybody. What is the Quick Save Club podcast, you may be asking yourself? The Quick Save Club is a PC-focused spin-off of the Cartridge Club, where every month we choose a retro, classic, or indie PC game to play. During the month, we discuss our experience as we play the PC game of the month with the Quick Save Club community on the Discord and forums located at www.cartridgeclub.org. At the end of the month, we pick a member or two in the community to record a podcast with to talk about the game. In the coming months, we'll be playing The Seventh Guest, Age of Empires, any old PC simulator in December, Thief, and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And at the end of this episode, we will be announcing the game for the month of March and the month of April 2020. We'll get into that when we get to the end here. If any of this sounds like fun to you, hit us up on Twitter or Discord to join in the fun. And just a quick reminder before we jump into the fun festivities here, check out the Cartridge Club podcast. In October, the Cartridge Club is playing Castlevania 3. CC Portable is playing 999 on the DS. And RF Generations is playing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. This month for the Quick Save Club, we decided to play Mojang's massively multi.
Give yourself a tongue twister there right off the start.
I know.
Massively, yeah.
Mojang's massively popular sandbox game, Minecraft. And also, it's either Mojang or Mojang, depending on how you want to pronounce that. But I think it's like the Swedish pronunciation is Mojang. So,
what is that? Is there a meaning to that name, or is that just a...
I think it's just a random name. I don't know.
Okay.
I never really looked into it.
Okay.
Just a quick editor's note here. Mojang, in fact, means gadget in Swedish. Fun fact there. Fun fact before we even get into the fun facts. Okay, so let's introduce our guests. First off, we got myself, Josh, also known as Frantic Online, and we have Ryan, Retro Gamer Anton, and Kevin, Buried on Mars.
Oh, no, I am not a host.
You're not a host?
Guest. I am a guest. That's
Okay,
right.
You're a guest this week.
I'm a guest because I'm guesting on all the podcasts of the month kind of thing, and I want the streak to continue. So if I'm a host, the streak ends. So I'm just a guest.
Okay, so Ryan's the co-host, and you're the guest this week.
I'm just a guest.
Yeah.
And we also have our other guest, which is Sierra. Want to introduce yourself a little bit?
I mean, you kind of just did. So
Okay.
Oh boy.
that's my name.
That's my name.
She's my fiance, and
If you couldn't tell already.
Yeah, give me a little bit of shit.
I know I do that to everyone.
Yeah, that's true. And a quick word of warning, we do jump around quite a bit when we do this podcast. So, all right.
And just a quick warning to the listeners, my cat keeps jumping on the table wanting pets, so some purring might end up in the recording. She's happy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Minecraft. A little introduction to Minecraft here. Minecraft is a first-person adventure sandbox game where the world can be destroyed and built back up to the player's whim. Each world is randomly generated and infinite. Journey from snow-capped mountains, stark deserts, lush jungles, and even other dimensions. The world is yours to discover, learn, and conquer. Its open-ended nature and surprisingly deep progression are what keeps people coming back to build, destroy, and create nearly anything their imaginations can conjure up. So, roundtable question time. Is this your guys' first time playing this game, or have you played it in the past? Let's start off with Kevin.
No, I have played it in the past. I first picked it up. I was actually on a podcast way back in the day, and they were talking about Minecraft and how the time was coming up where the game was going to jump up in price. So if you wanted to get the game before the price jumped up, I think it was from $11 to $24 or something like that. You had to buy it then, and once you bought it, you'd have it forever. It was going to continue on. They were going to update it. It didn't matter like if whatever new Windows came out or whatever, it would be compatible with it. So I thought, what the heck? Why not get this thing? Even if I don't like it, it was only $11. And what sold me on it too is that when they were talking about it, they were like, you can pick up anything in this world and put it somewhere else, and build your house or your living residence with just the stuff that's in the world. And I thought it was a really cool idea, really something neat. And then of course, like Minecraft was kind of everywhere. Like it was like, but it was before all like the trinkets and everything had come out in the stores and that, And so I started playing this game. It was before you even had to eat. It was just the survival mode, and it was if you died, that was it. It was game over. And I stuck with that version. They kept updating the game in that, but I ignored all the updates and just stuck with that original version because I was building this castle and I didn't want to lose my castle. So I just did that for hours and hours and hours. I had a laptop that and there was a lot of boring shifts at work that, and I eventually finished my castle. I felt like I conquered the world. I survived. Basically, I survived all the monsters. I had tunnels everywhere and all that stuff. So I felt like I was done with the game. That was it. And this was my first time back playing it again.
Okay. Sierra, when was your first time playing Minecraft? And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my first time really kind of just goes in with the story you would tell.
Oh, story I would tell.
Yeah, because it's kind of your fault that I play at all.
Okay, I guess I'll tell my story then. First time playing is I was in college, and of course I was just doing classes. I didn't really have any friends in college, very little, like 2 or 3. So I got into really deep watching like YouTube videos and learning about making content back then, and I saw this video series called Minecraft by X, and he's like, let's playing the Minecraft, and the game looked really crappy to me. I'm like looking at it like these graphics are terrible, but I started watching like the first episode, and then he's explaining like, oh, you go into the mountain and then you have to survive, and all the monsters come out at night, and I was like, man, this is an interesting concept. So what I did is I went online and found a pirated version of Minecraft, and I played with some dummy account until I could afford a preservation copy, yes. Until I could afford the $12, because that's literally how broke I was. I was in college. So I decided to make Let's Plays, and I started posting videos of me just learning the game and playing through it. Like this is when it was in alpha stage. So I kind of played up through like the later stages of beta doing a Let's Play, which was pretty cool, a cool way to experience that game. And I played on a server, which we'll talk about later, but I was dating Sierra long distance at the time, and we used that to like just communicate and talk to each other is play Minecraft, and I got her into playing it as well. So, am I wrong with that? Is that sound good?
For the most part. Basically, he just kept bugging me to play it. And then during one of the updates, they added the Nether, and then he posted a video on it, which you can still find on his old account, which is very cringe. Well, it's cringe-worthy when you watch it, but I think it's hilarious. And mostly when I started seeing that stuff is when I started playing, but at first I would just try the free version they had. And basically, in the free version, you could download it, but it only gave you a certain chunk space that you could actually explore. So it was actually sandboxed off. And I would just mess around with that until I could actually get it later. And then mostly I would just focus on building a lot of random stuff. But I do remember during one of the updates, they had finally added stained glass, and a while before that, I was like, damn, this build would look so much better if I could actually have colored glass in it. And Josh is like, no, they're never going to add that. They're never adding stained glass. Why would they do that?
Well, the reason why I would say that is because I was like super into like the updates, because they update this game, all the time, and they said that the lighting engine wasn't up to snuff where they could actually have colored see-through blocks. Besides, like, it was a very weird bug where like the light wouldn't shine through it correctly, so they could never get it to work. But they eventually figured that out. So
you just have to be patient.
Yeah. All right. So Ryan, when was the first time you played Minecraft?
Well, this is the first time I've actually dove into it completely. I do remember it. Minecraft. How long has Minecraft been around now? What is it? It's been
10
around
years old.
10 years. It's been 10 years. So around back when it was still, I think you could still even play it on your browser at one point, because I had a friend from work come over. And he's like, "You got to check out this Minecraft," and this was a while ago. And he brought it up on my computer, and we were actually playing it within the browser. Mm-hmm. So there was a version like that. Am I right, or am I?
Yes.
Okay.
They call it. I don't know if you can still play it, but basically it was just classic mode where there wasn't any of the survival mechanics. Yeah. It was just the building. Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
That's the one he showed me, because he was telling me he was trying to get me into it. And so I messed around with that a little bit that one day. But at the time, again, I thought, like you, when you first saw it, just like, this looks like crap. Why is this game look so horrible? But so I messed around with it then for a little bit, and then I didn't mess with it for a while, and then another game came around called Terraria. And I was debating between buying Minecraft or Terraria. And so I ended up going with Terraria instead. And it all came down to the fact that I didn't like the idea of a mechanic where I constantly had to keep eating. and my stuff broke. And in Terraria, you didn't have to do that. So I forgoed Minecraft for Terraria. And then up to this point, I finally own it, thanks to you, Josh. Mm-hmm. And I started playing it more this month because of it. So I have very little knowledge of Minecraft. And like I said, it came down to 2 games, and I ended up going with a 2D survival game versus Minecraft instead. And I'm the biggest noob ever when it comes to it. Not to say that I haven't watched a bunch of Minecraft stuff on YouTube and stuff like that, because people are insane when it comes to making Minecraft content and just the builds people do. Like, I love seeing the stuff that people create, and just the month time in our server, you guys were able to create some pretty cool stuff, So the creative side of Minecraft, I remember I watched a lot of that. I looked up a bunch of stuff like that, and I even dove into a little bit of that this month with certain downloaded levels or custom maps and that. But I'm pretty much the biggest noob in this group when it comes to Minecraft. But
cool. I just want to point out the cool part I think about Minecraft. I guess this is story time, so we all can tell little stories we have. The coolest part, I think the coolest part about Minecraft is you jump into the world, and if you have never played the game before, you kind of don't know what to do unless you've watched some tutorials or looked at wikis. And it's kind of just like this. The way that the progression in the game works is so fascinating because as you collect materials and you learn more about the different things, you can discover, oh, okay, I punch this tree. I can make a crafting bench. I can make a crafting bench. I can make this tool, and this tool does this. And then it just, as you get further into the game, you're eventually getting to, the nether and fighting in there, finding nether, materials, and then going to the end and fighting the dragon, which we actually did on the realm. We'll talk about a little bit later. But I just find the loop of building and learning and growing in the game to be just like crack. Like I can't stop, once I start. So, so any random anecdotes or stories that anybody wants to share, go ahead and just jump in.
I feel like you said, when I first got into Minecraft, it is very overwhelming at first because, and I remember my son actually, he has Minecraft on the Switch, and I tell him because he stays in one particular area on the Switch, and he's playing with the Mario mod, so everything's Mario-ized, everything's Nintendo-ized on the Switch version, so it's Mario themed, and he's stuck in this area, and I'm just like, well, why don't you explore more? He goes, I don't want to get lost. And so he stays in this area. I'm like, well, the whole part of it is to explore. He's just like, well, that's okay. I don't want to get lost. So what I thought was actually very helpful, I don't know who gave it to me. Someone on the server gave it to me, but one of the first play sessions, someone actually gave me a map. And after someone gave me the map, it was Kovic, okay. Once someone actually gave me a map, I actually calmed down a bit because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to go. And then he gave me a map, and I'm like, oh, okay. This makes me feel a little bit better. I don't know why. All it was a map, which is the simplest thing. But for some reason, up to that point, I'm just like, I'm kind of afraid to do this, or I'm kind of afraid to go this way because how will I get back to my house, or something like that.
Yeah.
So something as simple as that, and obviously early on you don't have a map. You have to do certain things in order to make a map, right? You actually have to
craft it. Yeah.
You have to craft it, and you have to explore the area yourself and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of helped calm me down on the early on. And then, I started digging and exploring more and venturing out a lot easier. And it's kind of weird, but was a simple thing. But that kind of made me be like, okay, I can handle this now. It's not so overwhelming.
Yeah. I want to do a quick shout out to that COVID guy. Like I just kind of like knew him on Twitter, and I invited him on the server, and we made a Minecraft realm. So I went ahead, and they had a 30-day free trial. So I went ahead and did that, and it's a 10-person server. And then we're gonna keep it going because I feel like people are still interested in playing here and there. Mm-hmm. And I invited him, and it was like the second day, and I went into his base, and it was just like completely decked out. I thought I was like a master at this game, and I was just like,
yeah, he was like, insane. He knew everything. And the second I got there, he's just like, you need help with anything? Like, I know, I can get you this, or I can show you how to do this. And it was like, oh, okay, dude. I'm like, thank you. I'm just getting my bearings.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, here's my enchantment table, and I have a AFK fish farm. Here's my nether portal. I have all this stuff ready to go.
Well,
super nice, super helpful guy.
When Kovic was giving you a map too, he gave it to you in this frame too. He had it all framed and all that. And so he's like, I'll come over to your place, and I'll hang it up on a wall wherever you'd like. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I was on the server for like an hour, so I had a hole in the wall, like in the wall. That was it. That was my room, right? And he comes in and he's like, where do you want me to put it? And I'm like, well, I don't know, just put it right there. He's like, oh, you mean here in this hole in the wall? Like, yeah, this is my place, man. This is what I got.
I think you made your home out of where I initially started digging. Because that was like,
was that you?
That was me. That was my initial me trying to dig, and I literally went nowhere, and I just gave up. I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere, so I just stopped digging, and then eventually I come back to it, and there's like a little, you have your chest there and your bed there, and and you made it your home.
That's
I
it.
was like,
I moved right in.
Yeah.
Squatters' rights.
And I remember why I abandoned it, because there was nothing but a bunch of creepers kept hanging around that place.
There was a crazy amount. I think the way the water is, because there was this nice stream that went by it, but I think the monsters got caught up in that stream, and they would just kind of gather right there. So it was kind of crappy spot for that. But I don't know. It was fine for everything else. Once you got up on the surface and that, and I could build my tower and my little garden and all that stuff. Plus, it was right where the tree was, where people entered in. And the first thing I wanted them to see was my gigantic ego, just right there,
Yes, explain the ego tower, because I want to know how the heck you built that so quickly and so efficiently. Where did you get all that material?
Well, it was a 3-day weekend. It was Labor Day weekend, and I just had nothing better to do but sit back and build that thing. So that's what I did. That's pretty much it.
I noticed that most of it is the twice smelted stone too. Like the whole thing's what it's made out of. So you had to smelt it twice just to make it look like that.
Well, I wanted it to be a nice smooth stone. Yeah. And there's I can't remember the name of it, but it kind of looks like sand, but it's not. It's that dark kind of quartzy
andesite, granite. I don't know.
Yeah, it was granite. That's what it was. Granite, you only have to smelt it once to get that smooth stone. So I did that, and the glass, and I just went. When I played Minecraft originally, I did reach the ceiling, but it was I just had a bunch of cobblestone, and I did the whole jump and put it underneath you. Just to say,
you can just pull your way up.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, that's what it's like that. And this time, I wanted to build something that would reach all the way up to the top. And I had thought of filling up every room with something, but I think I got 3 rooms in. And I'm like, okay, this is enough, because there's a lot there.
Yeah.
You should have made it like a fancy hotel, every room something different. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a plan to do something like that, but I don't know. There is a garden up there. I did put a garden up there if anyone wants.
Yeah, I saw that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's nothing special. Yeah, so, that's it. That's as far as I got.
Yeah. So I just I like the idea of doing the realm when we did this whole thing. Basically, what Microsoft did was they make it to where they make it so easy now when you have Microsoft accounts, and we decided to go with the Bedrock edition, which is the edition that is the one that can be played with consoles. So I was like, maybe some people from consoles will jump in, and then I was asking everybody, "You playing on console?" And everybody was still playing on PC, which is funny, but it is what it is.
We did have Dean. Dean played on the Switch.
Right? Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he only jumped on for a day, and then he couldn't build because we had a griefer in there. That was interesting.
Yes. Yeah. So what happened with that?
You want to explain it, Sierra? The griefer.
Someone apparently got invited, or they found a link to it. They came in, and I saw their name. I was like, hey, do you know this person? Because he's sitting at his computer and I'm just on my laptop, just looking around, making sure everyone's doing okay, but of course no one else was on. He came on, and then after a few minutes he was gone, and I'm thinking, okay, well, he didn't even say anything. And I start going towards the spawner tree, and it's just lava. It's just on fire. And then I look up at the ego tower, and it's just lava slowly coming down from the very top. It's like, well, okay.
It was good, though. They do make it very easy to go, okay, there's backups every hour. So I was just like, okay, 1 hour before, do a backup, block the guy. And then I had to make it set permissions and stuff, which I didn't think I would have to do because, generally everybody we know are nice people. So I figured there's not going to be an asshole coming in here. And, of course,
so is it possible for someone to just randomly find your server without knowing? No. Is there... No,
I think he was just looking on Twitter because he said he found it from a link on Twitter. I was like, "Hey, who are you?" He's like, "Oh, I found the server on a link on Twitter," and that's the only thing he said. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Yeah.
That was horrible, though.
That's cool that they do allow you to back it up though like that. I do like that because that would have really sucked because you guys put a lot of work into a lot of that stuff, and to just be completely destroyed like that.
Yes.
So that's
So
a cool feature.
I do have history with like doing Minecraft servers. Back in the day in alpha and beta versions, we had a server called the Aradia Mystical Server, or just Aradia. It was a very cheesy name, but we had a 100 people server, and people would come in and join, and I was like a moderator admin guy who would help like make sure there was no assholes like coming in. So I had some experience with that back in the day. It just gave me flashbacks to that situation, like, oh no, what happened, you know? So
You're having those war flashbacks, black and white, you know.
yeah,
No, not again. I thought I was past this.
exactly.
It makes me wonder though, like who actually does that? Who just sits around all day, logs onto their computer, and says, "Okay, I'm just gonna go find some random realms and mess stuff up." Like
People
who
are
does that?
bored and are dicks, you know.
I guess so.
They're
Pretty
bored,
much.
Or
and
dicks. They're the
they
worst.
like the idea of using their knowledge of power, whatever it is, to mess up everyone else's day, you know. And whatever, he got banned, we reversed it, and it was like nothing ever happened. So
Yep.
he
Good
wasted
story.
He wasted his time.
He gave us a good story though. So at least
Sure.
we got that.
He wasted a little bit of my time.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
That's not right.
Because when he did that, I was actually in the middle of working on the skeleton spawner.
Oh,
And then Josh went back an hour, and then it's like, well, I get to start over.
Yeah, that's the only bummer about that.
Well, that's so. Sierra, tell us everything you did in the server, because you did a lot there.
So how did you find that? Because that skeleton, it was the skeleton spawner, right? Where you could level up and grab a bunch of arrows and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
How did
found
you
a couple
even-
was
Like it was out on the edge of the map in the desert. How did you even find that? Like how do you stumble upon that?
Mhm.
Well, first I was going to the Badlands where they have all that colorful terracotta, and then I almost fell into a giant ravine. I was like, hey, Josh, whenever you get on next time, let's go explore this. And then we're just exploring one of the many caves that go through it. It's like, oh, this is a skeleton spawner. So we went up to the surface, we lit up the area, be like, yeah, this is where it is. And then one day I just went back. I was like, well, this would be really good for XP. So I just slowly dug it out, made a water elevator, and then made it to where they drop down just enough to where you can just one punch them.
Brilliant.
It was brilliant because I don't think we would have made it through the end of the game without all that advantage and fast tracking to leveling up.
See, I ran into like 2 zombie ones, but I didn't know how to turn it into like a efficient way of attacking them. I would just put like a wall around it, and then when they'd spawn, I'd open up a little hole and I'd start hitting them. that was my way of doing it.
Again, that was a good start though, because at least you're still using it and you didn't break the spawner.
No, I didn't. I was too afraid to go in there. I was just like, I would get swarmed and die. Because I didn't. That was another thing I probably should have asked more. Like, I didn't know how squishy my character was, you know? And it's probably a good thing you guys started, because you have it on not passive, but the easiest mode, basically.
It's just normal.
Just normal. Okay. Because
we could have put it on easy, though.
Yeah, true.
Because I'm pretty sure a creeper exploded in my face and I didn't die, so so it had to have been on an easier mode.
If you put it on hard, you'll die from a creeper explosion, for sure. So
I find I need that though. Like I enjoy that. The creepers and the monsters and all that stuff, and only going out during the day, having to come back at night because. I don't know. That just adds more to the game. I think the game would be boring if it was just building. You know, I enjoyed that element.
Yeah,
that's
go ahead, man.
So that's what's kind of cool about it, because you have people who play Minecraft where that's all they do is build things. They don't, do monster hunting or anything. And then you have people that's all they do is explore and monster hunt and fight bosses and stuff like that. And so that's a really cool appeal to it. Is you can have one or the other. That's what's one of the wide appeals to it.
Yeah. They do have a creative mode too, where you can go in and you don't have to worry about those guys, and you can just build to your heart's content with infinite blocks. They do have that mode in there if somebody wanted to choose and play like that. I think it's really cool that the YouTube and like the media, like the social media scene for Minecraft, like really broke the game open, because we probably wouldn't know about this like XP farm thing without YouTube. Like we wouldn't know how to make that. Like people just know the mechanics of all the different characters, the mobs, and the just how everything works to the extent where they can be like, okay, here you go. This is an iron farm that actually exists in the game. If you want to take the time and get villagers into a certain area and build it a certain way, you can actually have irons like what do they call iron golems from the village spawn and kill them and get free iron. You can do that if you want. If you spend the time to build that farm, you can actually make that. People have broken the game wide open to where you can just pretty much, get any material almost infinitely if you take the time to learn how to do it. It's kind of interesting to me.
And that is one of the most insane aspects of this game is what people have been able to make. Like people have made working calculators in Minecraft. They have made a Nintendo emulator in Minecraft where it would emulate playing a game very badly, but they made it in Minecraft. I think one of the more recent ones was someone made playing Minecraft within Minecraft.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's like,
yeah, it was weird.
Well, all that stuff I feel is a byproduct of the game's really only real fault, and that is that there's no in-game tutorial, no way in the game for it to teach you anything. You have to go to an external source to find stuff out. Yeah. And it started off with the wikis and that, and how to craft things and that, and people had made their more and more on the wikis, but really that's how YouTube, the most popular videos on YouTube is how to do things. We're kind of in a bubble with the video games and that, but if you look at the real top dogs in YouTube, it's always like, how do I fix this? How do I repair this? Yeah. And one of the byproducts of this game that has no tutorial is, how do I do stuff in this game? Yeah. So where do you go to find out how to do stuff? You go on YouTube, and that's where all these people have taken off. PewDiePie, like that Minecraft, he started off doing Minecraft videos, right?
I don't even know about him.
Never followed him. I've heard of him, but I never.
I know we do know some YouTubers that are very popular. There's a guy named Mumbo Jumbo, that's his YouTube name, and he does like redstone tutorials, which is that wiring, and he shows like all these different machines that you could build. And
he does videos only on redstone in Minecraft.
For the most part, he does like a let's play with like a server. Yeah, basically.
Show us how to make a ladder. No. I only do redstone.
I only do redstone.
He'll show you how to like make big piston doors that open up and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy is you have these subcategories within Minecraft. So you have these people making videos where it's nothing but redstone, like he said, or nothing but building, nothing but making really elaborate contraptions for like your chicken farm, and stuff like that. And so it's like you have the categories underneath the category, underneath the category, and that and like Barry Don Martin said, it is a bit overwhelming because it's like when I got in there, one of the things was like I started asking really stupid questions because I'm just like, okay, so how I got to this point where I had the wrong kind of pickaxe and I was mining something and it wasn't giving me the material for it. And so I'm sitting there going, what do I need? A stronger pickaxe? And they're like, oh yeah, you need this kind of pickaxe in order to mine this or that. So it's like, and there is a book in there, like it'll tell you how to do stuff.
Now.
But now, but even that, like I would get certain material and I'd be like, what is this for? Like for the longest time, I had all like, what is it, the rotten flesh or whatever they gave you, the zombies would give you, because I'd be constantly killing zombies. I'm like, I have this. What do I use it for? And someone said, oh, you trade it with a village. And that was one thing that I didn't like about our server. The first day on the server, there were villagers everywhere. The next time I logged in, all the villagers were dead.
The zombies killed every single one of them.
That's a new thing for me too. Yeah. What is going on with that? Like, there's last time I played the game, there wasn't even villagers. Yeah, okay. So what like so I don't know, like, is that's like a rare thing where the zombies just kill all the villagers in the server, or
I think it's because the server was constantly on, 24/7. It kind of like made that process faster than it would normally would be if you just jumped on for an hour here and there or whatever.
okay.
And of course, like the way the Minecraft works is the world's rendered in chunks that are 16 by 16, or is it 160 by 160? I can't
It's
remember.
16 by 16 chunks.
16 by 16 chunks. So that's from the very bottom to the top. So if there is somebody in that chunk near that village is going to be doing all their, runarounds. They're going to be working, right? And then the zombies are going to go over there and they're going to do their thing and kill them. And
So okay, so this makes sense, because this is Ryan's fault then, because he put his home base right in the middle of the village. So
No,
you
it
killed
was
all the
outside
villagers.
I
No,
did not kill.
You
There were
can-
other villages too that
Yeah.
I would assume had villagers. I only found one village. There was like one in the desert. There was like two in the desert. There was another village in the woods near over where Kovacs thing was, and apparently that had villagers at one point. But so there were plenty of villages. It's just I don't know.
I like my theory better. I think you killed them all.
Hey, you guys made all these grand things. I might have made just a dinky little castle, but it was my castle.
that's
Right in the
that's
village.
that's a cool thing, I think. Like
On
when
the
you play this
outside.
game, you take ownership over this world because you actually construct it into your own little corner of your own
Yeah.
little nook. I love
Yeah.
that.
If I would have known the villagers were going to die, I would have spent the entire day building a wall around their village. Okay, I would have built a wall and hoped that would work. That's another quirky thing is the AI, and I don't know if this is a newer thing or not, but I found it kind of funny that if they stay in like during daylight, they'll burn up, but if they stay in water, they don't burn up, or if they hide in the shade. And I found that to actually be quirky. Like you would actually see like the zombies or the snake or whatever. They would actually like hide under a tree during the day. And I thought that was actually kind of cool, like a cool little AI thing. But then, of course, if you got close to them, they just come out from the tree anyway and burn up trying to attack you. But I thought the AI was actually kind of interesting that way. And they, I don't know if this is a thing. Do they purposely do like a creeper jump scare thing? Do they have the ability to like teleport or something?
No,
Because I could have swore there were times where there was no creeper anywhere near me, and then all of a sudden it was just there.
That's
Creepers
why
be
they're called
creeping,
creeper.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but is that one of their mechanics? Do
Yeah,
they
they're creepers creep. They creep
No,
up on
but-
you.
I know the Slenderman things could teleport, but I didn't think like the creepers could because
They
there'd be
don't
so
teleport.
many. I know they don't, but where did they come from?
They creep up on you.
They just
Ah.
spawn in somewhere nice and dark, and then
Yeah.
they see you. Just
Yeah.
make a beeline towards you.
Yeah, they're pretty fast too. Like you'll see one way off, and then you'll be like, "Ah, he's cool," and then he'll turn around, he'll be right there and blow up behind you. They're pretty sneaky.
Oh my god. Well, let's talk about some of the other things that got built in our server so far. Like so, we already talked about Buried on Mars's, and you had a house, Josh, that you built.
Mhm.
That was a very nice house, I thought.
Thanks.
Kovac, good lord, his house was fancy. Good.
was a
Yeah,
lair.
he had made like a modern one too.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
It looked modern. He had tables. He had a fireplace. I mean,
It gave me like, bad guy from a James Bond villain vibes.
James Bond villain vibe.
Yeah,
yes.
like Blofeld. I
Yes.
thought that was Blofield's palace.
Yeah,
And then who built the UFO?
that
And
was Sierra.
That was
Sierra.
me.
yeah, Sarah. Yeah, you had a UFO abducting your trailer
RV.
house, your
Yeah.
RV, full of cats. Just you go into the RV and there are wall to wall cats all staring at you and meowing. It almost is kind of creepy. But it was a work of art. It was nice. It was a nice RV. But
Well,
I
like
remember.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, like you were saying earlier, there were just so many villages, especially the desert one. There were just so many cats. It's like I can just grab raw fish and see how many I can just take.
And it took me forever to just get 2 cats.
I just took one. I wasn't greedy. I just wanted one house cat.
Yeah, I got 2. One that I couldn't name because I only had I had 2 name tags. I named one, and then the other one I gave to my horse, so I could name my horse. And so the
you
other
only
one,
get 2 name tags?
I
You
could
can
only
get
find 2 of them.
You can
Oh,
get
I
more,
see.
as many as you want. Yeah,
I
you just
didn't know
have
if
to
you
find
could.
them.
Oh, can you craft them at all? I don't know.
No, those ones you just find in the
Yeah.
world.
I
You
only
find or you craft them. No, I mean,
you-
trade for them.
Trade
Oh.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't trade because all the villagers are dead.
That trader guy, he still popped up though. He even popped up
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
like I was mining near the bottom trying to look for diamonds, and he even spawned in there.
Yeah,
He's down in my cave.
that trader's a brand new thing. They just added in like the update. It was about 6 months ago. It's called the Illage and Pillage update, and that was one of
Okay.
the things they added was those.
Dude,
Now,
Dude,
where
I
do I
built-
get?
traders.
He would only take emeralds, like these round green
Yeah.
emeralds. I don't know where to get those.
I only
They-
had one, and I got them from a drop from a monster. That
You
was it.
you can get them in what certain biome, right? I'm kind of hazy on that. I think it's only in desert, right?
No, you can only find them in caves in the mountain biomes, or
Mountain
you trade stuff to the now dead villagers who would then give you emeralds for that.
Yeah.
But of course,
Yeah.
they were all dead.
It's like an
Yes.
ore, just like iron, but it's like only in the mountains where you can find
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not easy to find.
Yeah.
Do I need a fancy pickaxe to get
Iron.
them? Iron. Okay.
Can you get the villagers back at all, or no?
Well, you see, go ahead.
I mean, if Frantic and I decided to cheat, one of us could go into creative mode and get villager eggs and just drop a lot of them.
No.
Or we can do it the nice vanilla way and not cheat, go to an extremely far village, pack them up into some minecarts or boats, and then just somehow transport them all the way to the old villages.
Well, we could also those villagers, those zombies that kind of look like villagers. You can actually convert them with a specific potion. I think it's like a potion of weakness or something.
Yeah, you have to hit them with a potion of weakness and then feed them a gold apple.
Yeah, and you can turn them back into regular villagers. So
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That map that Kovic made, could we go beyond the boundaries of that map?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it's
Okay,
endless.
so it was just like a local map kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so everyone could see whose house is where.
So
Yeah,
it
so-
is endless. You would just keep walking forever, or do you eventually loop around?
No, it's forever. There's actually a guy who's been doing. I don't know his YouTube or nothing. I can plug it, but that doesn't matter. That's not the point. They're an old version of Minecraft. When you get a certain distance from the spawn, it would have like a really corrupted world. But of course, it's infinite. So this guy, for a charity, for over 8 years, has been walking till he gets to like the end lands. So it's all corrupted and shit. He hasn't got to it yet, but he's been every week he'll stream for like a couple hours and get donations. And he's like walking endlessly in Minecraft. That's like all he does for his content. Yeah.
Wow.
But he's raised like millions of dollars for this charity doing that.
Oh,
That's
it's
kinda
good.
cool.
It's for the charity. It's very good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
people do some weird shit. Like, that's weird, but I mean, somebody thought of it. It's like, okay, maybe one day somebody will actually see that, because nowadays, like, if you keep going forever, the world will keep generating correctly. But of course, in like a certain version, it would be like super corrupted and look really crazy if you go like millions of blocks out. But yeah, the world's infinite. You can just keep on making that world size bigger and bigger. Like we had a server map that was 18 gigabytes when I was doing a server, because people kept going so far out, you know.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Now here's another question. Now I'm taking this from a mindset from another game that I played. Are there like mini bosses and stuff, like special mobs or special, like instead of just the last boss, are there like other things you can summon that we just didn't dive into?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
Well,
okay.
maybe we should mention what we did,
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
what we actually did, and then
Well,
we can
let's-
talk about the stuff we didn't do.
Okay.
As
so-
a guest, I would just like to hear that. That's
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
that sounds good. We went and decided to team up together and fight the Ender Dragon. So, do you want to explain some of the process in building up to that, Sierra?
Yes, please.
yeah, because we just followed whatever Sierra said. And then
Yeah.
she was the sergeant. She was Sergeant
She was-
Spark at that
She was
point.
our Sherpa. She was Sherpaing us.
She led us into the Netherlands, and we just followed, and we did whatever she said. And she got us there. She got us to the end. It was good times.
Mostly she told us to not die. That's
Oh yeah, and then you
Try
failed
not
a
to
bed in
die.
her house,
Try.
remember? In the
Yep.
Nether, and blew us all up. Yeah, that was
Yep,
fun.
I blew us all up because I
That
tried
was
to put
good
a
times.
bed down.
Yeah.
Nobody died,
Yeah, I
but it
know.
was
No, we were all
Actually, the
just
funny
talking.
thing is the 1.16 update they're working on making the Nether more livable. So eventually, you might be able to put a bed down in there without exploding and almost
Yeah.
killing everyone.
That's like the new update they're doing. They just
Yeah,
announced it.
That was pretty good. Yeah, so you can't put a bed down in there. And Ryan's question was, where do I put my bed? Kaboom.
We're all like, wait, what happened? What happened? And then it hit me. I'm like, oh, he must have put a bed down. Oh shit.
and we weren't using mics yet, so I just type in WTF. It's like my bad.
You gotta learn sometime, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
We never put down another bed in the netherworld.
Nope. Okay, so the process of getting there. Go ahead. We keep cutting you off.
That's okay. Well, basically, everyone had to get a decent type armor, iron or diamond, some enchanted items, sword, bow. Basically, I ended up finding that because I just went in the Nether and I just walked a while and then I made a portal. I came out to this town. I was like, oh, this is a nice town just surrounded by spruce trees. And then a day or so later, when I went back, I went to the town and then there was just a hole dug in the wall, and then it said "end portal." I was like, Kovic was here.
Okay, so he found it.
I somehow got to the town first, but I didn't think to throw an ender eye to actually find the end portal yet, because I thought we were going to do it together later. And it was like, no, it's just right there. It's like,
Yes.
well, my portal is very convenient now. Thank you.
Yeah, so usually you have to kill those teleporting Enderman guys and get those eyes, and then craft a specific thing to where it'll like leave a trail out, and then you have to pick it up
just
again,
follow it.
and then it'll throw the trail up again, and you pick it up again, throw the trail up until you find the portal. And he had already done that. So, go ahead. Sierra.
That was pretty much it for that part. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got all geared up, and we went ahead and followed Sierra because she knew where it was, and then we all laid beds in the end right next to the portal and jumped in with jack-o'-lanterns heads on, which
sucked.
Those suck.
Yeah.
They destroy your field of view. You can't see anything basically.
Only in that version though, not in the Java version.
We were watching a video on the Java version a while ago, and like the jack-o'-lantern heads, like you can actually kind of see with them on. I don't know if the person had a mod on or what, but
really,
I ended up just taking them off and like staring at the ground or staring up high, so not to tick off the Enderman. And it kind of worked. I don't think I got attacked once. I just happened to, because I couldn't aim my arrows or nothing with that mask on.
Like it wasn't so like the field of view thing wasn't so bad where it would cut off the edges and that. It was just that middle, like it so you put on these jack-o'-lantern heads and you can only see through the eyes and the mouth for some reason, and it would put like I guess the nose of the jack-o'-lantern to be right where you would be shooting at, because you can only shoot arrows. It was a big dragon, right, that we had to take down.
Yeah.
And so the only way to reach this dragon is to shoot arrows at it, and it would be right there in the middle of the screen, and you couldn't see what you were shooting at. So you just kind of, I don't know, I would just kind of shoot and just hope for the best kind of thing.
Yeah.
But first was the towers that we had to take out. The little what were they?
Right.
They're obsidian.
The beacons, yes.
Yeah, but basically the process to kill the dragon is those beacons will heal the dragon's life force up, like his life bar. So if you don't destroy those, you can be attacking the dragon. He'll just heal up instantly every single time. Or I guess because she had an egg when she dies. So the reason we wear, I don't think we mentioned it, the reason we wear the jack-o'-lantern head is those tall black Enderman guys will be aggroed towards you if you don't have them on. And that in the end world is where they like live. That's their sanctum, I guess.
If you look at them. If you
look at them.
Yeah, if you look at them. If you
Which
look at them with the
inadvertently do, just trying to shoot at the dragon with arrows.
So we all had scaffolding too, which is a newer addition. So basically you can scaffold up to the top of these beacons, and some of them had cages on the top you'd have to like destroy and then blow it up, and
That was my one shining moment. Is I managed to get through the cage and destroy the beacon right as the dragon knocks me off the scaffolding as I fall to my death. That was my one contributing thing that I was so proud of. I was able to get one of the beacons, and I died afterwards, which was a bit of a pain because then you drop everything, and so then you. One of the things we forgot was we probably should have put like a contingency of jack-o'-lanterns at the home base.
Yeah,
so,
that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because then we had to go back with nothing on and try and find our stuff and hope no one on our team accidentally picked up our stuff and run through all these Endermen not looking at them. And it was just chaos because you have people screaming, shoot the beacon, I got him. Oh no, he's going to get me. And I'm trying to find my stuff and this guy's shooting. And so it just fell into chaos until finally I think, Josh, you got a good angle and you were able to snipe the rest of the beacon.
Yeah, there was 3 left. I climbed to the top I had got one of them, and then he pushed me off, and I had just enough of those scaffoldings to get 5 blocks from the top of the beacon. So I had a regular iron pickaxe only, mining this obsidian that takes like 500 hits. So I had to hit 5 of those to get up top. And then I was like, okay, I'm up here now. And I haven't gotten knocked off, and I could see the 3 that we need to do, and I just sniped them with my bow. I got lucky. I didn't get knocked off, at the end there. I feel like the fight was pretty harrowing, though. Even though there was so much chaos going on, we ultimately killed the dragon, and it was pretty satisfying.
Well, once the towers were down, the dragon actually, I felt like got a little easier. I mean, he wasn't aggro on me as much as some of you guys, but,
well, I couldn't tell if the arrows were actually doing anything against the dragon, and
me neither.
He or she would swoop down to kind of protect this egg thing. I think in the middle
like
or something.
Portal. Yeah, it's a portal, and there's like when they die, the egg actually spawns on the top of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, when she would come down, that's when I could run up to her and just hit her with the sword, which I found was way more effective because I was actually getting like some sort of response where she would glow red and moan. So I was like, okay, this is actually working.
We had some kind of glitch, like with the
we didn't get a health bar.
Yeah, the health bar was there when we came.
It was there at the start, right?
Yeah,
it just disappeared.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But we did ultimately destroy it, and she explodes, right? Basically, and that's the quote unquote end of Minecraft, end of the game. That's the end boss. So
which I think Baron on Mars kind of mentioned this afterwards. Like it kind of felt anticlimactic once she died, or it died, the dragon died, because it's like, okay, is there going to be fireworks or something, or anything cool drops? And it was just it. We killed the dragon. There you go. And now we could go to a different world. Like there was this new area that we could teleport to. But other than that, once you kill the dragon, it's like, okay, what do we get? Like a lot of experience. And I think you guys went back and got like a dragon head mask or something. But,
and Sierra got the elytra wings too, where you could fly.
Yeah, the wings. Yeah, I forgot about that. And so I guess that's what's cool. But it was just like, for like a end boss or final boss, it just was like, you kind of felt like there should have been more flash at the end of it,
Yeah. And then there's the credits, and their credits are weird in this. I don't know if y'all ever took a chance to read it, but they actually had a novelist write the credits, Neil something, and they had he actually wrote this really trying to be all existential storyline about the player and his effect on the universe and stuff. And I was like, it's kind of hammy. I think it's not very. It's like, I don't know. I've sat there and read it before, and I just it's okay. But instead of having a normal credits, it'll do this huge story, and then at the end it'll credit the main devs at the very end. So, yeah. I just like the thing that when you beat the Ender Dragon, it does open up the end dimension for you, which you can get those wings and actually get a very vast improvement in your inventory for Ender chests, which are chests you can take with you, and if you open any Ender chest in the entire world, that chest will have your materials in it. So say I put 5 dirt blocks in the Ender chest in my base and go over to Mars's base, he has an Ender chest, I can open it up and get those same 5 dirt blocks out.
Okay.
And then they also have these things called shulker boxes, which are these mobs that can teleport you, or what do they, levitate you and kill you, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you kill those, and you get shulker shells, and you put that around a chest, and it's basically portable storage. You can put it down, fill it with whatever you want, and destroy that and put it in your inventory. And that's just one block in your inventory instead of like a whole chest worth of stuff. You know what I mean?
So it finally expands your inventory. Because that was kind of another thing is I always felt like my inventory was kind of small, for when I was exploring. I'd constantly have to, go back and empty everything out and, so... But that's kind of like an end game thing. Now you have more inventory space.
Yeah, which is actually a very important thing in that game. So basically, you can have your entire inventory full of inventory size, boxes, basically. So it's pretty cool. So, any other stories we want to talk about from the server or any Minecraft experiences you've had in the past? Anybody?
Well, one thing with the dragon, the reason I think it doesn't really have anything as nice, like any fireworks or anything, is because with the dragon egg that I picked up, you can actually summon another one, I think up to 12 total times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you want to go crazy.
So every time you kill it, you just get more experience points, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing really too special.
Do the towers come back too, or do the towers stay broken?
They relight if you respawn.
They relight? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, after this, if you want, you can go to YouTube and just look at someone respawning it. It's just this whole thing that you get to watch.
I've seen it before, but yeah.
I'm not talking about you, because I know you've seen it.
But we could talk about another mini boss that you could do. Is called the Wither. So basically you go into so there are 2 dimensions in the game. I guess we never really mentioned that. There's the one where you have to find the portal, which you fight the dragon in, and then there's the Nether, which is basically like a hell dimension, and it has like blocks for there. They have blocks in there called soul sand, and then they have these dark skeletons, nether skeletons that you can kill, and then you can get their heads. It's a very rare drop. What? She's shaking her head at me. So basically you can go ahead.
You've been playing this game longer than me, and you can't even think of all the names or anything.
It's the black skeleton guy. It's
a wither skeleton.
Wither skeleton. Okay.
You get the wither skull from him.
You can craft this boss battle. It's kind of cool. You basically do like a T, right? And then 3 heads on the top.
Okay.
For the most part, and it spawns this like 3-headed beast guy that'll shoot flames at you and stuff. And he's very destructive. You don't want to put him near your house because he'll just blow your house up because he's throwing like projectile TNTs at you, basically. It's a harder...
He levitates. He doesn't have legs.
Yeah, he levitates around and shoots bombs at you, basically.
I think I've seen someone fight him on YouTube a long time ago. Is this a new one or an older boss?
It's a few years old. It's at least 4 or 5 years old, I think.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, that one's looked pretty cool. Because that's what I was asked. I think one day when we're on the server, I'm just like, hey, is there any like bosses we can fight up here or spawn something like that? And I think that's what I was alluding to. Maybe I probably wasn't ready for it at the time, so you were probably trying to hold me back. Like, no, we don't want to fight that thing right now.
No, the thing is a pain in the ass to kill, and you get something called a Nether Star, and then you can do beacons, which if you place it at your base, you can increase your hunger bar, your speed of movement, your damage per second. There's like a bunch of stuff you can improve. It's just another way to improve your character in the world. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. So basically you can actually do like a strip mining super fast if you do it, and then you activate like the beacon of mining. You can just like go underneath, just like just mine everything super speed. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I remember Kovac saying that there was like a mob or something that happened in one of the villages. Like he was telling me this when we were playing, that he had to defend a village or something like that. Like there was this event. What was he talking about there with that?
It's a newer thing they added in that village update. Like I mentioned a little earlier ago, it's the Illager raid. So they're kind of like evil villagers, and they have a beast that comes with them with like armor on and stuff, and they have crossbows. That's how you can get crossbows. I think you can also craft crossbows, but I'm not sure. But they will attack all the villagers and kill them all. That may have happened to one of the villages,
Yeah.
in our world. You never know.
That
But,
happened to the one near his base, he told me, because I remember going there and I was looking in a chest and being like, "What's all these crossbows?" He's like, "Oh, I had to fend off this raid. It was pretty intense." And I'm like, "Okay." So
that's what's cool about this game is they always add more. You
Yeah.
never know what else they're going to add, and that's just a recent addition. So.
Well, the thing is, the reason he had to defend from the raid was his fault to begin with, anyways.
Oh, okay. So he ended up
He
causing it. So
yeah,
it wasn't me. It was him.
Only for that one.
Only for
Basically,
that one.
he must have killed a pillager somewhere else, and then he got this kind of enchantment on him called Bad Omen, and then basically the next time you step into any village, a raid happens. So it could have only happened because he did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So that one's on him.
Yeah, so anybody's ever tried any mods or texture packs for the game?
I tried at least 2. There was one that I bought off of the marketplace. I probably could have gotten stuff for free, but I already got the game for free, so I figured I'd put some money into it, thanks to Josh gifting it to me. There was one where it was a racing one, where someone built this town, like this entire city, and they modded the horse to be motorbikes. And I tried getting people to play it with me because it's like a racing game, but I never could get anyone to play it with me. But you can get into races and stuff like that. No, it's okay. But you can actually get into races. You can get money to upgrade your bike, to get different suits, get different bikes and stuff like that. It's just an entirely modded thing. It's a full city. There's like citizens standing around cheering you, and the race itself feels wonky because it didn't really mod the horse to feel like a motorbike. So it still kind of feels like you're riding a horse, only it's a motorbike. But it's cool. Like they made race tracks and everything else. It had custom skins and stuff like that. And it was just a really cool little thing made within it. And then the second one was, since it was getting close to Halloween, I downloaded this custom Halloween map, which it had all new textures. And it literally was, the entire map was Halloween themed. They had a haunted house. They had a haunted carnival with a working working minecart thing that went through the entire thing. And they just had tons of like, I guess I can't call it pixel art, but block art of like skeletons and tombstones and like a haunted village and stuff like that. And it was like super, super cool and creepy. And I think they turned the Enderman into Slenderman, so they had like the white face and stuff like that instead. And that's that cool. Really freaked me out because I got off, I was exploring, and all of a sudden I turn around and there's this Slenderman just teleporting towards me, and I just turn around and I go to run and I jump off a cliff and die. It's like ah. So it was really well done, and I can't remember. It was like a Halloween pack on the store, and I need to explore it some more, but yeah, it's really cool. There's so many packs. There's like lighting packs and other stuff to make it look HD and look really fancy and that. But I didn't mess with any of those because I didn't want my computer to fart out on me. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff out there. I think there was a DuckTales one that they were promoting during the month where you get a bunch of the cast of DuckTales, and you get to map with Scrooge McDuck's mansion and stuff. And so there's just a ton out there.
Yeah. The thing that they've added since Microsoft purchased the game in 2014, I think, they have added a marketplace where you have to pay for mods, and that was like a weird thing to me. I mean, of course, it's a way to monetize the game and for people to have those mods on console, so that's an easy way to do that. But on the Java version, it's just like half the time it was literally just like a exe or a jar file that you just extract and you just throw it into your Minecraft. One of the most popular mods is Optifine, which it just improves like the performance of the game on Java version. I use that all the time. One of the Minecraft mods for like the servers was crazy, like back in the day, and I'm sure it's still crazy, but like they had this mode where you could paint with like spheres and blocks and stuff from a distance with so basically you just hold an arrow and then you can just look and like paint the landscape, so you can like build landscapes like with spheres and stuff from a distance with that. So let's say like, oh, I want to make this 15 circumference sphere, with blocks. Of course, there's a blocky sphere. But I want to build a mountain with that. I could with that server mod. So they added all sorts of stuff. We also had a faction server, magician server server for a while. I'm just talking all weird, but they had like a jump boost power up, and I was like going in circles there. But they had like a fire power up, like you can shoot fire at your other teams, and basically you either join one side or the other side, and then you can do different magic powers and stuff against the other players. And we had that server up for about 6 months. Like, this is a long time ago, but yeah, it was pretty fun. There's all sorts of mods out there. And texture packs, I don't really like texture packs for Minecraft. I think the game has such a unique charm that when you go in and you try to change it and use a different pack, it just kind of throws it off for me personally. I've tried a lot of them. I try to get into them, but I haven't ever found one that I'm like, oh my God, this is better than the OG graphics, So we can't hear you, Ryan.
Still can't hear you.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. I muted it because I wanted to turn the fan on because it was getting hot in here. Anyway, I like the texture packs where it makes sense. Like I said, the Halloween theme map that I downloaded, it made it creepier. They had it so it was always nighttime. It never, which I think that's just a setting you can do anyway on the server. But it had its own custom look to it. It made everything darker or creepier or whatever like that. So it makes sense in that. Like if I was playing OG, like I wouldn't want like the Halloween pack for, just playing normal, But
I used to use during Christmas. I would use this pack called Painterly Pack, and it actually has this like website where you could change the block. Like you could do like 5 or 6 choice per block. So it's like, oh, if I can use this snow block or this snow block, and it changed it to a Christmas theme. And occasionally I would have used that back in the day. But besides that, I never really got into it.
Do they have any like seasonal things that happen in Minecraft, like during?
Oh yeah, the only
Halloween,
thing I can. Yeah, April Fools. They always have some crazy April Fools version for the whole day. There's like, it's just usually chaos in the world. Like, don't load up your original world, like make a new world type of situation.
Okay.
Because they have had like I don't even know, like raining fire one year, and like those nether guys spawn, but they're like pink and they're happy and they follow you around, just like weird like like April Fool's Day stuff. During Christmas, the chests actually do turn into presents too, which is kind of cool. And the trees will look a little more festive, like the pine trees. So
I have some lights on it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I always like it when games like that go off the calendar and give you certain stuff for certain times of the year. I think Terraria does that. Like during Christmas, Santa Claus will show up, and you can make Christmas trees, and then you'll get certain mobs that only come out during that time. Like you'll get during Christmas, you'll get like a snowman raid or something. There'll be killer snowmen coming to try and attack you and stuff like that. So it's always cool when video games kind of incorporate the season into the game, except for April Fools when it just messes everything up, and like it sounds like.
Yeah. Recently, they actually did change the original vanilla textures too. That was like a big thing they did recently. So a lot of people were outraged because they changed the cobblestone and a lot of stuff. Like almost, if you go into any of the games, you can download the I guess they call it developer graphics now, and you can download that and look at the differences. Like the Nether looks so much better now. Like they really just gave it a nice fresh coat of paint and stuff. So, any other comments before we jump into fun facts? Kevin, you have anything to say? Or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Hey, all right.
Good. Just listening to the stories here. Having
yes,
fun.
Sir. Let's go ahead and jump into some fun facts here. How about Ryan? You read the first one here.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Fun fact: in 2014, Microsoft purchased. I was going to say Microsoft purchased Microsoft because of the M there. Microsoft purchased Minecraft from its creator, Marcus Persson, aka Notch. They bought the title for $2.5 billion. Sorry. Austin Powers there. After a tweet from Notch saying, anyone want to buy my share of Moja, that word, so I can move on with my life. Wow, okay. Getting hate for trying to do the right thing is not my gig. Oh, he was having a bad day. and then was reached out by Microsoft and other companies, including EA and Activision. The deal was later struck, proving to be one of Microsoft's most profitable ventures to date.
Yeah. So, do you guys know anything about the creator? Because I used to kind of look up to him because he built this game like just messing around in code, and then he made one of the most popular games ever.
I know he's lost his mind on Twitter a couple times.
Yeah, he lost his mind on Twitter, all sorts of crazy stuff, to the point where Microsoft and like Mojang and everybody has distanced themselves from him now after these years. Like the only thing that his name used to be in the game, and all, like they have these little splash things that at the beginning, when you load up the game, it says Minecraft and like a random phrase right there, a little splash thing. One of them used to say created by Notch, and they took that out. They took out a lot of references to him in the game. Besides, at the very end credits, it says the game created by Notch, and that's the only place he's referenced in anything Minecraft now because of his vitriol and just horrible things he said on Twitter and social media and stuff.
So was he under a lot of pressure? I mean, was it the fact that people wanted him to update so often and he couldn't handle it, or what was? I mean,
I think that he didn't expect this game to just blow up the way it did. Yeah, and then so much pressure, and of course he has a very strong personality, obviously, since they distanced themselves in the recent years. So I think he just couldn't handle it no more and said, you know what, I'm out. And it's like, okay, let's sell the game. And he had $2.5 billion and posted pictures of his house that had a candy room in it. So yeah.
And then later, I think I remember a tweet he did where he was actually complaining about that he had $2.5 billion and that it's actually ruined his life that he was a billionaire. And it's like, oh my God, shut up.
Yeah.
It would be great if I had $2.5 billion right now.
Exactly.
But yeah. I actually like what Microsoft has done with it. Like, Microsoft could have really been a jerk about it and just been like, okay, it's only going to be on Xbox and PC,
Yeah.
But no, it's on everything, literally everything. And it seems like Microsoft is actually one of those rare cases where they have handled it better than.
Because a lot of fans were like super. Of course, a giant corporation buys your fun little indie game that you've been following for years, and they didn't ruin it. They did add some stuff some people aren't afraid of, are wary of, like the marketplace. Yeah. But the Java version still exists, and that's their primary development platform still to this day. So the people that have been playing Java all this year, they don't have to worry about that marketplace. That doesn't exist there, Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, Sierra, how about you read this next fun fact?
I actually get to talk now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to say something.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just got to cut Ryan off.
You got to jump in.
Oh, no, it's not just Ryan, too.
What did I do? I'm sorry.
No. It was partly Josh's fault, too, because he's like, oh, hey, anyone else want to talk about this or this? Hey, you haven't talked. You want to talk? No? Okay, next thing. Let's not ask the other person here.
Oh,
she
dang.
up on this stuff, Josh.
No.
Go ahead and say what you need to say. Go ahead.
What are you
going to say?
Well, talking about Microsoft actually purchasing Minecraft, part of the reason, and Josh should remember this because we were both talking about it, was Notch was actually trying to make a space-related game, and anytime he would just show people how it was going, everyone would get mad at him, like, why aren't you working on Minecraft? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do this?
I remember that now.
This. Okay. Yeah, that was part of the reason.
I remember, he was working on, it was like a first-person shooter or something, right? And he was showing like the mechanics with the gun or something, and everyone freaked out about that. I remember that. That was stupid.
And that's actually why, that actually has to do with the tweet that was quoted in here too, because he was getting hate for trying to make new games as well, and he was just done with it.
Yeah. Did he ever make that game, or after
don't think so.
I'd be done with games. You got 2.5 billion, just done.
Well, now you have 2.5. You have unlimited resources. You can make whatever the frick game you want. There's also that.
Yeah.
Who cares what people say? I have $2.5 billion. I will make what I want to make, and it doesn't matter what you say. So.
Okay. You can read the fun fact whenever.
I'll read the third one. because that was my choice to put that one in.
Sure, go ahead.
We can go in order.
Okay, Kevin, read the second one then.
My goodness. Minecraft becomes the best-selling game of all time this year, which also happens to be the game's 10th anniversary. It sold over 176 million units, which surpasses Tetris in terms of sales numbers, which was the previously highest-selling game of all time, which is really incredible when you think about it, because Tetris has been out on everything, and I know Minecraft has been out on a lot as well, but Tetris has like a 30-year head start, 25-year head start at least on Minecraft. And there's so many different versions of Tetris when there's really only, Minecraft and a couple of Java or whatever, nothing crazy like Tetris. And I've only had to buy the game once. I bought it once in 2011, and that's it. And I can play it I can still play it on my PC. I can play it on Windows 10. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more people in that boat instead that have bought it, multiple times over. So I think that says a lot,
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Sierra.
Considering it's only been... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead and say what you're going to say, man.
Considering, technically, it's only been around for 10 years, like you said. So that is an amazing thing, considering how long those other games have been, like Tetris and other stuff. Yeah.
It's also just funny that the highest game just went from stacking blocks to building blocks.
It's true, yeah. A lot
true.
of block happening.
People like blocks.
Everything goes back to Lego.
Sure. Go ahead and read that third fun fact, if you would, Sierra.
Soon as Celeste stops knocking things over with her tail. Well, I'm trying to pay attention, and then she's meowing at me because she's not on the table anymore, and then she's knocking stuff over for attention. So I just have to hold her still now.
She's being a rascal.
Yeah. Okay, the infamous creeper was actually an accident. While Notch was trying to create the first passive mob, the pig, a coding mistake was made when he accidentally swapped the height and the length of the pig's build. Then the iconic green color in the face, which has become the most recognizable image for Minecraft, was then added. So basically, instead of how you see the pig now, it was standing up right like a creeper.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's like, if you think of... Really? Kidding?
The cat really liked that fun fact.
If you think about Minecraft, you see like the merchandise everywhere. You see that face, and that's cool that he accidentally stumbled upon this like interesting looking character model, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna run with it, and it's kind of like became the most popular part, like most recognizable bad guy in the game. So
just like Bob Ross would say, which is the skin I used when we were fighting the dragon. There's no mistakes, just happy little accidents.
True. I'll take this super long last fun fact here. Minecraft's development has always been public facing. The community has seen the game go from a simple building game inspired by Infiniminer to a complicated and varied gameplay world. Each update is shared with the public, and the feedback from fans is taken into account with each feature that is added. Even some community mods and ideas have been included into the game as vanilla features. This includes things like pistons and the zombie pigman. Minecraft Alpha was released in May 2009, but the game didn't hit 1.0 version until November 2011. The game continues to receive updates until this day. It's pretty cool.
That must have been when I bought it, right before it went to 1.0 version.
Yeah. So they released that 1.0 version and said, this game is done, kind of, like this is what Minecraft, is, but it's always changing and evolving. They're always adding stuff. Like they recently added the ocean biomes, and like the thing in the fun facts, the pistons was a community mod. Somebody came up with, he's like, I went in the code and I figured out I can push the blocks over with redstone and this block pusher I made, and they liked it so much that they actually credited him and said, hey, this is his idea. We made it feel a little bit more like the vanilla Minecraft and added it to the game as a feature, which is pretty cool. So And then even they're still working on it. Like they just had their like little basically it was E3 for Minecraft. They do like a little like streaming thing, and they announced like
Minecraft
this big
Con or something, maybe. I don't know.
Minecon.
Minecon.
Minecon. Okay.
You're close.
Yeah, and so they're still
Everything's a
updating it.
con.
Yeah. They're still updating it. They just put out a trailer for like this like giant Nether rework. They're adding like Nether forest and like underground dungeons and all sorts of crazy stuff. So, yeah. So I think we're done rambling and talking all sorts of Minecraft. Would you guys recommend this game? We'll start with Kevin.
No, let's start with Sierra. We're not forgetting her this time.
Okay, start with Sierra.
Absolutely. As a guest, I ask you to start with Sierra.
Would you recommend Minecraft, Sierra?
Absolutely not. If you want your time back, you will get so sucked into this game. So yes, but no. Be cautious.
What about you, Kevin?
Yes, I absolutely would. This experience has elevated Minecraft on my top, best games of all time. It went from being a game I messed around with years ago and really enjoyed to it's really good. It's unique in a lot of ways, even though it has been a lot of its concept has been aped since then. But I seriously thought. When we were talking about playing this game and that, I thought I'd fire it up, play it for 5 hours or something like that, and say, just refresh my memory in that. Yep, it's all still good. It all still feels good in that. And I ended up dumping like 60 hours into this game, which I was not expecting.
That proves my point.
Yeah, and well, I mean, but it was a fun 60 hours. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. It is a time sink if you let it be. But it's like Lego. It's creative and you can just let your imagination run wild and the whole the whole progression and everything is just perfect. You just fall down like a rabbit hole of like, okay, how do I make this thing? And then you find out like, okay, you can make this thing, but you have to build this and then build that and then build this. And it just keeps going and going and going. And it's a lot of fun. I like it. So absolutely, I would recommend it. And I think if I was to like redo my top 100 games of all time, it would probably be in the top 20, maybe 15 of my most favorite video games of all time.
And that's part of what I'm saying, though. I do highly recommend it. It is really fun, but I am going to slap a giant warning label on it too, because you will lose track of time, and sometimes you will forget to sleep and then realize you have to go to work in like so many hours. It has happened to people, and it's not good. It's extremely fun, but it comes with a warning label.
There you go. Do you want to talk about your texture packs and mods since I somehow skipped you earlier?
He's trying.
Hold
I'm
on.
trying to make up for it.
Well, she's gonna make you wait for it.
All right, our cat is going crazy in there.
Oh, okay. I thought you. Okay.
Someone felt left out after she left the room. So she was begging. No, I was just going to mention some of the ones that I had recently been trying. Like there's a crazy one called RL Craft, and it's just a lot of different mods that is put into one. It is ridiculous. It is hard. It is not nice. But it also kind of makes it more realistic. Like, you can't just go up to a tree and punch it. You have to go find flint. You have to break that, make a small knife.
It's more hardcore than a hardcore version of Minecraft, basically.
Yeah, more creatures that want to kill you and everything.
Yep.
And then the one that Josh and I are one of the ones that we're currently playing, called that one of the YouTubers made called the Randomizer. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, the randomizer is pretty cool. Basically, okay, imagine you go into Minecraft and any block you break could be any other block in the game. So it randomizes the drops for everything in the game. So if you go and you punch a tree, that could be a stick, it could be a diamond, it could be a magma block. It's anything in the game. It's just randomized. So it's pretty cool. It makes the game.
You could be punching a tree and then all of a sudden lava will fall on you or something.
You could, yeah. That's part of it.
That's wild.
Maybe not lava, but
Okay.
you
Yeah.
might get a bucket of lava.
Yeah.
Okay, so the item the item you get would be different. Instead of if you punch a leaf, instead of getting a leaf, you might get a gold ore or something.
Yeah, a good example is we played one and we punched the tree, the leaf block, and beacons popped out. So we built a house out of beacons because it was easy to do. It was right there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Basically, if you break wood, it could be any possible drop. It could even be like a chest drop. Like the chest that you find in the village, it could be from a chest that you find at the end. It could be literally any of those things that generate. It's ridiculous.
The same thing when you fight a monster. When you kill a monster, is it a random thing too?
yes.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That would be fun.
Yeah. You never know what to expect, basically. Yeah.
Because you get like OP stuff early on just out of randomness or stuff like that, or just get really crappy drops all the time. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Josh has been recording some of the times we played on a different world without the beacons, and there is something we got kind of early on that is really ridiculous and overpowering, but I just don't want to spoil it right now.
Okay. We must watch his YouTube channel to find out more.
I guess so.
Or just wait until after the video is posted, then we'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little interjecting. Hey, we said we jump around a lot, so
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
True to your word.
Ryan, would you recommend Minecraft?
Oh crap, man. Okay. Yeah, I would. I'm gonna say something odd. I probably wouldn't hold it in as much high esteem as some people. It's not in my top 10, but I do enjoy the game. Unfortunately, I kind of became okay. I recommend the game, but I played Terraria first, and so I constantly was comparing it to Terraria, which I shouldn't have done because they're very similar games, but they're very different games at the same time. Mm-hmm. And because I was a Terraria person first, playing Minecraft just made me want to go back and play Terraria. I know that sounds weird, but they're similar games. One's 2D, one's 3D. I recommend Minecraft. You can get lost in it, everything else, but I wasn't as taken back as I probably should have been if I never played that other game, which we will talk about eventually, which we'll get to. But yes, I do recommend it. Fun, everything. A little bit disorientating, and you could lose time, but yeah, good times.
Cool. And obviously, this is pretty much top 3 game for me, so definitely I would recommend it. Like, I'm so non-committal on my top anything list, so this I would say this is a top 3 game for me. I'm not always constantly playing it, but every time I go back to it, I remember why it's so fun and engrossing, and just it's so easy to get lost in, and just so charming. And I just absolutely love this game. It's highly recommended. And it's easy for this game to receive hate, I feel like, because it got so popular, and everybody's, it's got so popular with the kids, and then, the older generation's like, well, the kids like that, and I'm so annoyed by hearing about Minecraft all the time. But the reason why the kids like it so much is it's a great game that's very engrossing. So I feel like anybody that would possibly say, poo-pooed it in the past, like, oh no, it's just a kid's game. It's a great game, just all in all.
So. I don't find it like annoying like Fortnite is, because Fortnite's all about killing each other, right? And getting good and all that stuff. Where this game is like about building and having experiences together in that. So I think it's a way more positive game in that regard. And so old people should just get over it.
I think it's got staying power because it's one of those games you constantly want to come back to. Like it's something that you can do something different every time you play the game. And it's not something you can get more. Like a lot of people say, like if you were on a desert island that somehow had electricity and you could only have one video game to play the rest of your life, what would it be? I'm sure this game is on people's list. Like if this is the only game you could play for the rest of your life, you couldn't play anything else. I'm sure there's a large population that'd be like, it's Minecraft, because there's just so much.
I would say Minecraft for me on that one too.
Yeah.
So that would be my answer to that question.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend it. I always try to jump in when new updates come in. I don't always, but it was nice this month to make it more of a focus to play through and play more of. I mean, I don't know if I put 60 hours in like Kevin did, but I did put a lot of time into it. And I just really I enjoyed the server experience too. That really adds a lot. Of course, playing with people always adds a lot to the game, but that group community feeling was awesome this month, just playing it with everybody. And I'm definitely going to keep playing it in the future, and I recommend everybody at least giving it a shot sometime.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's it for Minecraft. Any final comments? We're good?
Yeah. Sierra? Have any final comments?
I think we're good. So we're going to talk about future games of the month here. October's game of the month is Seventh Guest. Give you those Halloween spooky vibes. It's available on Steam and GOG. It's around $10. It's all constantly on sale. So we're looking forward to that. You guys excited?
Get it on GOG. DRM free on GOG.
Yeah.
I've never played Seventh Guest. It's what kind of? It's kind of a. Is it a clicker game basically? One of those kind of
adventure game. No? Yeah, it has FMV elements to it with graphics mixed together. So
no, corny
Halloween,
FOV.
Good times. Yeah.
It comes highly recommended. So and I know people love it.
Yeah, I've never really gotten into that kind of genre, so this will be very a very new experience for me. So
I'm not sure about the Steam version, but the GOG version is a enhanced edition with a little more modern controls and that to make it more palatable for the modern gamers. So
yeah, the Steam version's the same. That's the one I bought on the Steam sale, whenever the last Steam sale was. So yeah,
perfect. So should be good times.
Okay,
who's gonna be your guest that time that you will forget about?
Oh, come on.
Oh, Josh.
I did try saying something, but then Celeste had muted my microphone. That time it's her fault.
Josh, I think you're on the couch tonight. I don't...
Most likely.
I
don't... So we are announcing 2 games. This is unprecedented. It's never been done before. We're announcing 2 games.
But season finale and a season beginning, I suppose you can say. I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess I'll let the 2 fans of the 2 respective games announce the 2 games. Is that fair?
Oh.
Sure. Okay. Well, we're wrapping up season 1 of Quick Save Club with none other than Duke Nukem 3D. Yeah, baby.
First-person shooter ever made.
Yes, it's an excellent first-person shooter. There, we could have actually loaded up all of season 1 with first-person shooters because if you think about it, we did Half-Life, and then we're doing Duke Nukem. And you're like, well, what else is there? I mean, we could have done Doom, we could have done Wolfenstein. We could there's just so many classic first-person shooters. Hexen's good times, man. That's good times.
It's different. It's different. Yeah.
You know what I'm realizing as these games that we're picking, we love these games. We need to pick one that a majority of us don't know, and it has a shaky reputation. We need to get one of those games. We need to find a game that we're not sure if we're going to like. Because
we're doing that the next month.
Oh, really? Are we?
Seventh Guest. Yeah, true. We don't know anything about that.
No. I mean the month following Duke Nukem.
Oh, are you throwing shade at me? Are you?
I am. Yes.
Yeah. So Duke Nukem was March.
But Seventh Guest, we don't know anything about.
Yeah, we don't know nothing about that. We might not like it. But March, Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then come April will be our new season, season 2. Like I mentioned before, playing Minecraft made me want to play Terraria, so I begged and pleaded with the rest of the Quick Save Club Stonecutters, can we get Terraria out there? And they caved. And now I'll never get to pick a game again. But Terraria will be...
Especially when we hate it, after we're done hating this game.
You will not hate it. Terraria is a great game. It is personally my favorite game of all time. It is the number 1 on my list. So I will be editing and doing everything with that one. But that is the April 2020 will be Terraria after Duke Nukem in March.
They've done a lot of updates. I played the game when it first came out, so I'm excited to see like how different it is from the original like launch.
Oh, it is very different. It is. That's another problem, and this is the thing, is like if you've been away from it for a while, it will probably feel very overwhelming. So that will be the big problem with it, is trying to get people accustomed to it. But there's a lot to do in it. It is a great game. But enough about that. That is April, and the great FPS Duke Nukem 3D in March. So
Okay. Thanks for our guest, Sierra. I didn't forget this time, and Kevin, because he's the guest this episode.
Thank you so much for having me on, Josh. It's been a blast.
So we're gonna do a little bit of plugs here. Sierra, anything you want to plug? No.
What about
plug your Twitter.
That new Minecraft series.
Yeah, the new Minecraft series.
I'm gonna let Josh do that. He's the talkative one. He can plug anything.
Okay. Well, I was gonna plug your Twitter. Her Twitter is @SpectreSpark. You can follow her. You do pop culture T-shirts and stuff. You gonna tweet some out on there? I feel like you should.
Yeah. Pop culture.
She does like a lot of like really cool design T-shirt. Like she made like a Beetlejuice design that's like a little pocket that has a serpent in it, like for a shirt. It's pretty cool. She just designs really cool stuff.
It's not a serpent.
It's the worm.
It's not a snake. It's a sandworm.
Yeah, sandworm.
Sandworm. Yeah. Okay.
Just in time for Halloween. Perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I was working so hard on it. And then, funny enough, since Tetris was talked about earlier, I had actually put out a Tetris with a creeper one before.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool idea. So the creeper blows up the Tetris blocks?
Something like that. It's basically a rectangle, and someone was playing Tetris, and then the creeper came along, blew a hole in it, and now you can just see him peeking through.
Cool.
Yeah.
Josh can share it to you guys later.
I feel like the creeper would be a perfect power-up for Tetris. That would just be like one of those ones you'd get like if you were playing versus Tetris, and then you'd have to screw over the person next to you. You could send a creeper or something, or actually that actually helps. So it would be a helper thing because it would clear things. Right. Whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, the plugs.
And the next one I was going to do is actually going to involve an Enderman, since you said that, and I was thinking, well, if the Enderman was in a versus, he would be the one making it worse for you because he'd be stacking stuff on top of your already there blocks and just making you lose faster.
You should bring this to Microsoft, man. You say, look, I got Tetris Minecraft. Let's do this thing.
Minecraft, perfect.
Got it all laid out.
I work for none of you. Listen to me, please.
I'm sure they don't get bombarded with that stuff every day.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll plug. Me and her decided to do a little Let's Play Minecraft series, kind of like just a hangout, bond, couple stuff. And
I bugged you to do it because I wanted to play it.
Or you could say that too, but I'm having fun with it. It's basically the Minecraft randomizer we talked about a little while ago. We're just gonna play that for a while till we're kind of bored of it. So.
And then later on, Skyblock.
Skyblock, yeah, which you start on.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, you start on like a little island in the middle of nothingness, and you have to build from there. It's pretty cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So we'll be doing those, and then that's on my YouTube. It's just youtube.com/frantic thoughts, and then that's where the podcast is too, Frantic Thoughts. So that's my plugs. Any plugs, guys?
I'm the Retro Gamer Ranting. You can find me on Twitter at Retro Gamer Ranting without an ing, just an N at the end. And I mostly just tweet. You can find me on YouTube. I don't do much on there now, but who knows? For some odd reason, around October, I usually upload something, and I don't know why. There's like no activity, and then October I upload something, and then no activity for an entire year. So who knows? Maybe inspirational hit or something like that. But other than that, I very rarely stream. But who knows? I'm also on Twitch. But yeah.
Cool. And then Kevin.
Buried on Mars on YouTube. Go over there and check out that YouTube channel. There's just so many good things happening over there. I got video game reviews. I got vinyl pickups with my wife. It's a fantastic website. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves that YouTube channel. So go check it out.
I like your reviews. They're really good.
There, see? Look, there's fans everywhere.
I have seen some of the vinyl ones too.
There, see? People have seen it. It's just a fantastic channel.
People have seen it. I have watched it, and they are a video.
Yeah, they're videos, and they're on the YouTube channel.
There
See?
is content.
So get in on it, people. You're missing out. It's
It
fantastic.
does help that I have a stack of vinyls behind me that you guys can't really see because it's too low, but it's full. So
Nice. I could see a little bit there. Okay. Well, you should do a vinyl video so I can. I like creeping people's vinyl collections.
There you go.
well, if we do that, I'm gonna start with the one that's behind Josh's head on the wall.
What was that?
Space Jam.
No, it's a vinyl with a
Point to it. It's like above his hand near a cat.
there. Yeah, it's a vinyl where I was a kid and I'm on the cover of vinyl when I was a kid.
You're on the cover.
Yeah.
Cover?
I
Really?
was a cover star.
You can kind of make out the big head on this very small
Yeah,
screen. It's
big
just
head.
so far.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah, you can-
What group was it?
it's a old Seattle grunge band called Gas Huffer.
Gas Huffer. Yeah, Gas Huffer.
Gas Huffer.
Yeah, that's the name of the band. It's a kind of like an indie grunge band and from the 90s. So yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
miss the 90s so much. Those grunge bands.
I forget that exists until someone points it out. So that's kind of cool. So, yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
Okay.
that was not easy to find for a Christmas gift, okay?
Yeah, she got it for me. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get you a vinyl." She got me a vinyl of it because it existed and I never owned it. So she got it for me for Christmas one year. That was cool.
Nice.
That's
And
awesome.
vinyl's nicer, so
Yeah.
why would I just get you a tiny CD?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it doesn't count if it's on CD. Vinyl's the only way to go. Anyways, to get back to my plugs, @buried_on_Mars on Twitter. What else do I do? Oh, Retro Fandango. Go type that into Google, and up will come like the greatest podcast of all time called Retro Fandango. It's a little podcast I do with my buddy Richard. We just talk about stuff every week. He's in Japan, I'm in Canada. Shenanigans ensue. Sometimes we talk about movies, sometimes we talk about video games. Sometimes we talk
Kids.
about Ryan, but we don't post it because we don't want him to know that we're talking about him.
Hey, don't I have a obligatory guest on?
It's coming up,
It's
yeah.
got to be coming up here.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. We do have to get you on. It's that once a year thing.
Once a year, unless if you forget, then it's once every 2 years.
Well, you have to remind us, and I guess we
I
got
just did.
Yeah, that's it. So I guess we're obligated now. All right, I'll make a note. Make a note. We have to have Ryan on. What are you doing Saturday? This Saturday coming up.
This Saturday, my son is going camping for Cub Scouts.
All right, screw you then. You're done. See you next year.
Ah, damn.
That
My
was your win.
family gets in the way again.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to the Quick Save Club for this month, and I guess we're wrapping up. Crash the plane / crash the computer.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. End recording.